What's up, gamers? ZFarlsn here, as always, joined by my co-host, SGibs. Gibbs, big show tonight. In studio, we got T. Davis coming over to play in the game of the week, so you know you're going to get some good action. He recently commentated at the Best Buy tournament in Boston, watched us all play, broke it down, did some shoutcasting with my man on the side. Who's that?
Mr. Top Taylor.
The best Madden shoutcaster in the universe. Gets on the mic,
yes,
goes ham, keeps it real. So we got that to look forward to. For the first hour, though, Gibbs, what we'll be breaking down tonight?
We got a lot of tips. We're going to be focusing mainly on next-gen Madden 25. Don't worry, we still got you covered for current-gen Madden 25, but we do want to make sure... We got them both. We're going to be playing on Xbox One and Xbox 360 tonight, and the game of the week will be live in-house. Myself, Santa Gibbs, versus Mr. T. Davis.
All right, so remember, 99% of the tips will work on both Xbox One and 360. If they won't, we will clarify which they will work on better, but most stuff will carry over, and we'll let you know what we are playing on as we break down the tips. First tip of the night is coming in question format. We got Tech Guy reading them off. Remember, if you have questions, you can submit them on MaddenTips.com. Go to the forums, or just send them on Twitter at MaddenTips or at MaddenBible or at SGibs7. All right, here we go, Tech Guy. What is the first question of the night?
This one's coming in from Gibbs Got Dibs. How effective are pre-snap adjustments for the offensive line? What plays work best?
All right, so this is a question where it does depend on if you're playing on current-gen Madden or next-gen Madden. So we will run over to Xbox One, the new version of the game, and you'll see that blitzes work a lot differently in next-gen Madden. So do you need to slide protect? Slide protection is the key term to adjust your offensive line. If somebody's blitzing you heavy off the left, if they're blitzing you heavy off the right, those will all factor in to the pressures. So as you can see here, we'll call a play like overload one roll. That will send some pressure from the left if we will move our linebackers over that way. So you would see this, and you would, if you knew that they were, messing with their guys, you'd want to say, I'm going to slide protect to the left here. You can see that the angles that the offensive linemen are on. You see their drop backs, so all straight because we haven't touched it. On Xbox One, my tip is going to be don't use slide protection. The line is going to actually pick out the mic and do a lot better job than you could as a human, since it's can get pretty complicated. Just let the line kind of do its thing and kind of just roll away from where that pressure is, but don't really mess around with it, because if you guess wrong, you could always pay a price. So here's what happens if we do slide protect. Gibbs will press L1, slide it left. You can see the new art here on the screen. You have the left guard actually is going to run out to that direction. Backside tackle is going to stay home, but look at the center. We always talk about isolating the center on Xbox 360. That center is actually moving here a lot better. So at the snap of the ball, you'll see those guys will jump out to the left, pick everything up. You can do it, but for the most part, the game's going to do a pretty good job handling it on Xbox One.
Yeah, I personally would say avoid using slide protection on next gen because it's better. If you want to make your pass blocking better, I do recommend calling a play-action play, blocking the halfback. That's a max protect because you get better pass blocking with play-action passing. So that's what I would say to use. I don't think you really need to use slide protection in next gen. On current gen, you definitely want to call out.
So let's dig over to Xbox 360 here. You'll be able to see, I'll call a similar style blitz.
Go over plus. Go to the over plus.
All right, so 4-3 over plus.
And cover 3. I'll set it up.
Alrighty.
You take the offense, and then you use your slide protect. So I'm going to go 4-3 over plus cover 3.
When you're testing out slide protection, good idea to come out in something spread and test it with blocking the halfback, test it with the halfback out on a route, just to kind of see how the 5 linemen do as a unit. So ideally on Xbox 360, you want to isolate the center, force him to guess left or right, and hopefully get him to guess wrong. So here you can see, look at the play art is much different on Xbox 360 here. The guys aren't sliding with as much depth. So at least their play art isn't showing that. So snap of the ball, pressure is going to come in both sides. Now we can choose which way the pressure comes in depending on who we block and which way we actually slide. So the key here is now Gibbs could say no pressure's coming from the right. It's going to tend to come off the left here. I can either slide at it, so LB, right stick to the left. You see now all those guys are, you know, the player showing you, okay, we're sliding left, okay, we're sliding right.
And the backside lineman stays home.
Backside lineman's always going to stay home on Xbox 360 here. So here we're going to slide left. You see that the center goes that way. Blitz still comes in. So I do like slide protecting, but I think what I like to do ultimately on Xbox 360 with slide protection, the best thing you can do is block your halfback, and then I like to slide away from the pressure. So here I think, okay, pressure's coming left. I'm going to slide to the right, and backside tackle's going to pick it up. I'm going to kind of roll that way. Halfback should get over there. Yes, the halfback's going to run in front of the quarterback, kind of muck up the pocket, but you know what? I think we can get there. He's going to head over. Hopefully we can make a read, get some guys downfield, and
I like that you did that because that puts the pressure on the halfback to slide over and pick it up. It doesn't make the center have to slide and get it, because what you saw before when you did that same thing where you slide protect to the left here, what ended up happening was the center wasn't able to get over because he got caught up. He got stuck right there, and it forced it still allowed the pressure to get, even though you use slide protection to the left.
Right. So although the halfback will lose a lot of 50-50 battles with a good blitzing linebacker who's got a good finesse move, obviously a halfback's pass blocking rating is not as good as a center's. At the same time, I feel like he gets there and at least gets in the way more often. So that's slide protection tips for both Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Remember, if somebody's, you know, blitzing you in some way, or they're stacking everybody up in the A-gap, slide protect down. If they're really moving guys to the right, a lot of newer guys don't take the time to say, I can actually counter this. I can actually shift the line to the right and take care of things on my own. You can pretty much pick up every blitz in the game. If you call gun 2-back, block both guys, and slide protect left or right, you're going to be able to pick up every single blitz in the game pretty much. So just know that and have confidence that you'll be able to pick everything up. All right.
I like it.
Let's take a look here at our next mailbag question. We are chatting in the chats. We are both on twitch.tv/Madden Tips and twitch.tv/Prima Games. We are hanging out, talking Madden, taking your questions, having a good time.
Chatting in the chat.
Bring it on.
All right, this next question is coming in from Nathan Broncos 24. How can you stop a stacked run formation? The play is pistol A, strong power.
All right, so this is known as one of the best runs on Xbox One. I would call it the sister run. You know, like a sister city. Mm-hmm. I'd call it the sister run
sister college,
to Saints, I-form tight, strong power,
Saints,
strong power.
Saints twin flex, Saints power row.
So the Saints power row is a run on Xbox 360 where the blocking scheme is pretty similar. You'll see that on Xbox One here. You have both guards that are on the strong side of the formation pull. So usually with like a power row or a strong power, you can see on the left side of the screen here, the blocking usually comes from the right. Here you get both guys and you get those impact blocks. What causes those guys to get blocked in such a powerful way is the impact block rating. When a moving defender meets a moving offensive lineman,
you get the boom.
Impact block rating comes into play. And not a lot of guys can win it, especially if you're playing with a defensive back.
And guys, I think, in my opinion, this is the pound for the pound one of the best runs in the game. I like that it's from a pistol set because it gives you a little more flexibility to pass the ball. And when I was playing in the Best Buy Madden tournament a couple weeks ago, I probably ran this play 90% of my play, like legitimately 90% of the plays, and that's because I was in a tournament environment, and no matter what the tournament is, no matter where you are, who you're playing against, you play a lot more conservative in a tournament situation. So I have all these pass plays. I like to air the ball out. I check down to this run that's an absolute monster to stop, and that's how effective it is. But we're going to show you how we think is the best way to defend this.
So you don't want to come out in a formation like nickel. I think that you're too limited. Yes, there could be some corner routes from this formation that could be passes and can beat you, but ultimately you got to get down into either a 4-3 or 3-4 formation. Otherwise, just too much. Not enough beef on the field to get beat.
Yeah,
get beat.
We've talked about a lot that next gen Madden is more of a game about matching personnel with your opponent, and I think that really holds true. And that's where we want to have a little more beef on the field, the two tight ends, and have two wide receivers match our 3-4 set.
So here is how I would go about stopping this run. I would come out in 2-man under. I would take the safety who's in deep coverage. Yes, I understand he has a deep responsibility. He could get beat in the seam by Hartsock. I understand all that. I'm going to put him in a flat. I'm going to put him in a flat zone and hope that he can make a play. I'm going to try and leave him right here so that it's not as obvious that he's up at the line playing the run game.
Huge tip. That's probably the biggest tip, and it's a subtle thing. It's a small thing, but the importance of not giving your opponent false hope, or if you were to take Allen and throw him out way out to the flat, go back to the safety.
Yeah.
Move him far out there. What that shows your opponent is they look at that and they're like, oh, I could probably throw over the top. You don't want them to think that, because that's where you could get beat. So if you put the free safety and you leave him at depth where he's kind of right in front of him, that is going to make your opponent think twice. Oh, I probably, maybe I could get it in there, maybe I can't. So that's a big tip. Don't just slide him out there and bypass that.
Right. The second thing I would do is, in a 3-4, you have this guy who's on a hook zone. You can either user him or, and I probably would, because I want to be able to play the seam and play the corner route depending on hard sock, especially if I'm going to be vacating the safety. The second thing I would do is I would take this guy on the halfback and I'd move him over. See, I'm not all that concerned about the run going over here, because there's still some guys over here. Yes, they're going to have to go up against the wide receiver. I'm going to look to play Harris. Maybe I'll man him up instead and look to user this yellow zone. That's a possibility. And at the snap of the ball, I'm going to look to scrape. I'm going to look to fight. I'm going to look to get to the edge. And hopefully, as you see here, the flat zone at least picks up the guy on the impact block.
That's what we want.
And then I need to get out there and make a play. I mean, this run's tough. You're already starting out at a disadvantage. So you got to be mobile at the snap of the ball.
Right.
Here, one thing I'm doing, and it's out of a bad habit, I've done it really fast. You haven't seen me, but if I hold down L2 and push the right stick up, that's going to pass commit. I've done that.
Can't do it.
Out of habit, because I do it when I play my normal defense. I've done it by accident. You'll see that my guys will actually back up 2 steps at the snap of the ball.
Yeah, don't
do that, especially if you're in 2-man under. Don't do it. Bad habit for me.
I would say that it's all right to do it at a 2-man under, but if you put any type of zone, like a buzz zone or hook zone, and then pass commit, it makes the zones drop back. So you'll still get away with it in 2-man under, but if you're playing zone coverage, you're going to absolutely get crushed. That's why at the beginning of the year we were having, all of us, everyone was having a problem stopping the run. It's because we were just spamming the pass commit button, which then from our zone defenses makes it just a moot point and we get crushed.
Right, so here we go again. I'm going to have to try and get out there.
Scrape, but there's the flat, and that's exactly
zone
what
scraped
we
up.
need the flat out on the outside. And what I would actually like to do here in this situation, because I'm a little bit of afraid, I want to be more aggressive with my defenders, so I would place the free safety into a flat zone.
Okay.
The free safety into a flat zone. Then I would place the defender that's covering the halfback, middle linebacker, in a flat zone.
To the left?
To the right.
To the right?
Because I want to be super aggressive to stop this. So
Okay.
I click onto the hook zone, Davis, and I'm just going over there. Whereas
Okay.
if you don't have a zone on the other side, you kind of have to be ready for both. You could get beat in the pass.
Right.
And I personally think flat zones are the best zone to use.
So if people out there, another thing that people could be saying, so we're chatting here, one thing you might say is, well, why not put him in a buzz zone? Because then at least he'll play the purple, he'll get out wide, he'll play the corner route, because corner route's going to be the popular idea that people are going to want to throw to Hartsock here, in my opinion. Flat zones on next gen, guys. Flat zones on next gen play way different than on 360. They play a lot better. They get a lot more depth. They're a lot more active. So
very active.
So don't.
That's
worry
probably
about
the best
that.
word to describe flat zones in next gen is that they're active.
And I
so
just
snap
ran
of the
commit
ball
by accident.
But that's what we need the flat to do, is to get out wide, prevent it, and funnel the run back in. You want that flat zone to set the edge. And the reason you might be saying, well, why don't you use a cover 3? So let me tell you why you wouldn't use a cover 3. If you audible to cover 3, number one, I don't like that the zones are mixed up. Just baseline for me real quick. But this is why I don't recommend using the cover 3 to stop the run. If you bring that safety up, the strong safety, bring it up in the box. The problem I have with a cover 3 stopping the run, we used to always use the inverted cover 2, and it worked extremely well, but the problem is the deep safeties don't do a good job like they once did at coming up and just play run support. They drop back too far, so that you almost lose 2 defenders in your run support. So the snap of the ball here, they're going to just drift, and they're going to get away, and then by the time you get to them, you can already about have 3 to 4 yards, and that's a win for the offense. So that's why I don't like the cover 3, because you have 2 defenders that just do nothing, where if you play the 2-man under, you have 1 defender that does nothing, the deep safety, who's protecting deep, and then you have all your other options.
And look, this is one of the best runs in the game, so I'm willing to slide in line. You might be saying, well, you could just run right now. You could run a counter. Counter is an average run.
Counter's
Counter makes this guy stand up. Counter gets mucky in the middle.
Don't really like the counter.
Counter you can't really cut off of. Counter the handoff's not great. I mean, yeah, they could flip it, but you're going to see him pat the butt. So you want to slide your line left. You want to take this run away at all costs and say, hey, you know what? You want to pass? Pass. I do not want you running this play on me all game. We've learned about it. We've seen guys like Bronco come on the game of the week and run the Saints version of this play, and you got to kind of sell out to stop it. So things you got to be ready for. Now you flow, now you drift, now you drop back, and you're willing to take that. So if ultimately you got to slow it down, get them out of your groove, but that is how you go about stopping a very strong run like the Pistol Ace Twin Strong Power. We showed you last week on Twin 104 how to run it to success, and now we're teaching you at least how to slow it down, hopefully, and take it away. So we're going on here on the game of the week. We got T. Davis in studio. He'll be coming out at 9 o'clock to take on SGibs. We're going to have a great game. We got a lot of people watching in the chat on primagames.com. Also twitch.tv/MaddenTips, twitch.tv/PrimaGames. We're chatting. We're taking questions. We're having a great time. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Now let's take a look here at our next question.
This one's coming in from PBar86. How can you beat someone who uses GameFlow to call plays?
So to beat somebody that uses GameFlow, you got to beat them at their own game. If you play somebody that consistently uses GameFlow, or you play a lot of online ranked and you don't set your settings, pro tip: if you're playing online ranked, press X to change your search settings to change it to conventional, and then you'll only play people that want to use conventional, and then you'll never have to pick a GameFlow play. Just something that is annoying when you have to pick it.
The
you're
worst
not used
is when
to
you
it.
hit A real quick and then you pick a random play. You're
Right.
like,
So that's something you can do. But if you're playing somebody that uses GameFlow, if you've ever used the Ask Madden feature of play calling during a game, I believe, in my opinion, that the same type of plays that Madden tells you to run is what GameFlow is going to tell you to run, unless they've actually gone through and set up their GameFlow, which in case then they're just using a real thing. So you'll actually get random plays that will teach you. Like, I know when GameFlow is going to tell them to fake punt, because Ask Madden will pop up and it'll say call like punt return safe, and I'm like, that must mean that it's telling him to fake punt, or it's telling him to run a screen on third down, it's telling him to run 4 verticals on third and long, it's telling him to run the ball on first down. There's certain things that Madden does when you've seen it for years, what Ask Madden will tell you to do. Like on fourth down, it always tells you to run a Hail Mary. It really depends on, you got to kind of just, what would the computer do right now? That's what GameFlow is going to tell you to do.
Right, GameFlow it's set up to give you the best play for the situation. So what I would say is think about if it's 3rd and 15, what does that mean? Well, think about the plays that are supposed to work on long yardage situations. So most likely 4 verticals. You're probably going to get some type of vertical concept.
And here's the thing, every playbook has 4 verticals, so GameFlow can be safe in assuming, hey, this playbook has a good 4 verticals or a good deep pass.
Or halfback screen. What are you not going to get? You're probably not going to get a halfback dive. You're probably not going to get off tackle on 3rd and 15.
Right.
So prepare yourself for that. And don't freak out because they're playing with GameFlow and it's like an automated system. Think of it as you're playing someone that's picking a play. If it's 3rd and 15, what defense would you call? Just regular. So don't
also,
panic.
if you're playing something with GameFlow, a good idea might just be, hey, I'm going to play Ask Madden defense and choose one of these 3 options because it's not going to give you 4 verticals and then tell you to call run defense. It's going to give you generally matched up plays. That's something you should look for. Always call your own plays. Always, make adjustments, but at least take a look at it. Say, okay, it's likely giving him one of these plays. This guy's a total noob because he's using GameFlow. Mash.
I don't like that. I don't like that approach. But hey, that's your tip. I don't like it. I wouldn't go with it, but it's your tip.
You gotta think like a computer to beat the computer.
That's true. I'll agree. I'll agree with that. To beat the computer, you gotta be a computer.
All right, guys. So right now we are live. MaddenTips.com. Reminder: you can get the winners kit, which is all 8 playbooks that we've put out. There's a code going on right now, a discount. Use the code TWIM, that's TWIM. That'll get you 30% off tonight, and check that out on MaddenTips.com. We'll have some next-gen stuff getting added to that shortly. But 4 offensive playbooks, 4 defensive playbooks, all of problem stuff is all in there, so you want to make sure to look at that. All right, here we go. Tech Guy, next question in the mailbag. Let's check it out.
This one's coming in from Will Kowedek. I don't know how to say his last name. Best way to use the Cowboys Wildcat plays?
Okay.
All right, so the Cowboys Wildcat is something that Gibbs used early. Some ideas and concepts out of that. Do you want to see it on next gen, or you want
Next gen.
All right.
So we're going to take a look at a couple of the Wildcat plays from next gen Madden 25, the Dallas Cowboys offensive playbook. And what's unique about these plays is obviously you get, for the newer guys, that you get the ball and you give it to your halfback and you go and you run with it. So we'll take a look at that.
Just cut the middleman
Wildcat.
out. Just cut the middleman out.
So it's called Wildcat Razorback in this situation. In the Cowboys book, it's obviously not called Razorback.
Pro tip. Nope. Pro tip.
There you go.
Why is it called Razorback?
Because of Felix Jones.
Correct.
And he went to Arkansas.
Correct. With
Darren McFadden.
what a beast. Remember when both those guys were good?
So good.
Long
Still
time
kind of
ago.
good. Still kind of good.
Rashad Jennings, fantasy monster.
Okay, so first and foremost, I absolutely love the jet sweep. I think the jet sweep is one of the better runs in the game, and I've used it many, many times. So,
And it's in more than just Wildcat. So if you see jet sweep, try it out in other formations, and it's also got a lot of play action off of it.
so what I like about the jet sweep here is it's a great run, and you get great blocking, and you can cut it off tackle, you can cut it inside, and if you're playing on current gen, you're actually going to have a lot more success with it because you can cut better.
So these runs will work on Xbox 360. You'll actually be way more powerful on Xbox 360 because the blocking on the outside is going to hold a little better, and you'll have a little bit more ability to cut with the left stick on 360. Xbox One, these runs are still good if you call them at the right times and make the right read, but they're not as potent as they would be on 360.
So you can see the success I'm having here with the jet sweep. It's a great run, and I would say that you want to start your scheme around this. The way I would run this, though, is that you're looking at the formation. There's no passing play, so you can't live in it, right? So what I always like to do with these Wildcat plays is you kind of dink and dunk them in, right? So if you're not playing someone in person, they're not going to really necessarily know that you're going to, well, they will know it because it will say Wildcat, but...
No, that's Cam Newton out there, right?
No, that's not Cam Newton.
Number one?
Yeah, but it says Wildcat. When you pick it, it'll show up
Gotcha,
as
gotcha. Just
Wildcat.
say Wildcat. Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
what I like to do is I like to try and catch them off guard. No huddle situation. Guys that use game flow is going to be great for them because they're not going to be picking the play based on it. But what I like,
so once I've seen jet sweep 10 times, this guy has no passing plays. Right?
I like it.
That's what I'd be doing.
Right.
You guys get so
If
frustrated.
you know there's no passing plays, that's about. Here's the thing about going the extra mile and learning playbooks is that, okay, if I'm going against the Dallas Cowboys playbook, I know there's no passing plays from this. So in this instance right here, I'm running the counter. But what's unique about the counter in these runs, and I think the best bang for your buck, is to use the counter. And if you hold down the A button, you're actually going to give the ball to the halfback. So you have a jet sweep and a counter. So you don't have as good run blocking because you have some guys that bail out. But as a bang for your buck, you have two plays out of one.
if they're run committing,
right.
all that.
And so if they run commit that way, boom, I go this way, I go to the backside, and I try and sneak out and go.
360, that's a touchdown.
That's a
that play.
touchdown. 360, that counters cash. But, I like it. I think it's good. I think it can be effective. You can't spam it. You can't use it and think.
And it's not a
you're gonna have
third and
success
one
with
play.
it.
It's not a third and one play because it's not a straight ahead play. It's an east-west play, not a north-south play.
Right.
So it's too risky on third and one that your blocks are going to hold on the outside. Not one guy's going to slip their block.
If I'm facing this, I go cover two. I'll able to cover two.
Not sync play. I got you.
Yeah. So you have the safeties, and then I drop one of the other safeties into a flat zone, flat zone, and then I use the other safety. So I'm not worried about anything deep, and don't pass commit because that'll just kill everything. And then you go. And what I like about that is that you have the flat zones stay out wide. Yes, they're blocking there, but flat zones are great in run support. I can't stress the importance of how effective flat zones are on next gen Madden 25.
All right. So yeah, if you hold on to the ball with that counter, you saw it at the end of the half on Twim 90. SGibs and I played a game of the week. He took one to the house at the end of the half. I knew a run of some type was coming, but on Xbox 360 and PS3, very, very tough runs to stop. All right, guys. 35 more minutes, and then we got the game of the week, SGibs versus T. Davis. Make sure to ask your questions in the chat. We are hanging out, labbing some Madden, playing ball. Time for the next question coming in. Tech Guy, what do you got for me?
This one's coming in from J Petro 49. How can you utilize a tall wide receiver over a shorter cornerback?
All right. Size in Madden, obviously very important. Best receiver in the game, probably Calvin Johnson. Overall, AJ Green, pretty tall. Lots of guys. Madden 12, Ramses Barden, Marquise Colston with the catch and traffic. If they don't have catch and traffic and they're big, not as effective in the last 2 years of the game. That's fine. You can still find good ways to use this. Gibbs has a special tip he wants to share tonight about big receivers.
So a nice tip here on Xbox One Next Gen Madden 25 for Jay Petro, how to utilize a big receiver in the passing game. This is something that I've been using quite a bit, and it's something that complements your offense. It's not something that is the focal point of your offense. If you mix this in with everything else you're doing, it makes everything you're doing that much more difficult to stop. So what I typically like to do, if Farls just plays a straight 2 and under, because most people feel pretty good in 2 and under, what I like to do is from a gun bunch look, I will flip the formation. I love Z-Spot. It's my favorite play in the game. And then what I like to do is I like to put the inside tight end, which is Greg Olsen here, who a big-bodied tight end, 6'6", 6'7".
G-Reg?
6'6",
6'6".
6'5", and I like to streak him. And what you're looking to do here, I'll try and do this without talking, is you back up and then you want, it's the timing of when you throw to him. It's a down pass lead. You want to kind of roll out a little bit to the left. You're going to turn around, spin him back around. He's going to go up for almost like a rocket catch type animation. This is something I actually did use a couple times at the Best Buy tournament. I had a great situation at the end of the game where I actually got knocked out. I spun around. AJ Green grabbed it, went up for it, got it, and then he dropped it. But that was a tough one, and this is a way you can utilize and get your big receivers into the passing game and let them post up the receivers. It's a little difficult for me to do right now.
I'll give you 3 chances. He was doing it. He did it a fair amount of times before the show, and he
on
did
the hot seats.
Throw it. That was a zone. So
yeah, the zone coverage is a little bit harder to do against. Let me go back. Let me go down to single back ace. I was having a little more success with that. Like I was saying before, though, the studies are out on this still. Have I used it and spammed it in a game to kind of see where I can go with it, see if I can force it into coverage like it used to? I don't think so. I think it's something that when it's open and when it's there, it's a nice option.
Or if you need it, it's third down. Hey, I gotta click on here. It's better than not clicking on.
Correct. So here I use some fades. I let Olsen get down the field, and I kind of spin him around, and then he goes up for it, and you can see that I got the animation I was looking for there. And what you're going to find is that a smaller receiver, you're not going to have the same success. He's not going to go up for it, number one, that you saw Olsen go up for here. So it's all about the angle at which you're throwing the ball to the receiver. So here you can see the angle I have. Throw a down away pass lead. You click on the receiver and you just spin them straight back down.
All right. So if the left stick is a clock, how is your pass lead?
6.
So you have the 6 o'clock pass lead.
6 o'clock pass lead, and then I click onto him and I drag him 6 o'clock back down, and then he'll
hold down Y.
Hold down Y.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's a straight bolt pass. The route you want to use is a fade. Not a streak, a fade to the tight end.
Right stick up is the hot route.
Yeah, and you just back down, sit right about there, about 15, 20 yards downfield, and you can see that Olsen's going to post him up. Again, is this something that you can live on? No, but 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20, and I don't know what to do. He's covering all my options. This is an option. This is something you can try and mix in. It's not going to win you games in there because you need time in the pocket. So if there's good pressure, good luck. But this is definitely a way you can implement your big receivers, and it definitely does work out of that gun bunch. It's just a little bit harder to do. The timing is different. As you can see, Olsen goes up for it.
I'll take a look at that.
The timing is different.
Pretty nice. All right, let's see when he clicks on to actually catch this pass. That's important. What I like about instant replay, you can see if you leave the right stick on, you can see at what point he clicks on. So you click on right as you throw it. So you're clicked on for, the ball's still got another 20 yards to go, and you've already clicked on. You're already turning at about 10 yards. So you threw it when he was. So the ball's at the 30 when it snapped. You threw it from 10 yards back when he was at the 10. So if you guys want to practice this, line the ball up at the 30. Drop back, try and get that at that angle, about 9 yards back. Throw it when the receiver gets to about the 15-yard line, we'll say. Click on right after. Start holding it down and look to see what you can get. Obviously, right here, that's going to cause a catch in traffic. Right. So right now, the game is saying, okay, did he catch it? What's his catch? Okay, is he going to hang on to it? What's his catch in traffic? So Marcus Colston's going to be an elite guy at this. If you play Madden Ultimate Team, go find a guy that will fit your scheme. Here we hang on to the rock. Good. It's good looking.
Go choose new play.
It's fun, but overall,
Yeah,
know?
I like it. I mean, if you can do it and you can get it consistent, it's pretty effective. Like, if you have a Rob Gronkowski with 98 catches traffic, I like it a little bit better than Greg Olsen. Olsen doesn't have the best catches traffic. He's big. You can utilize it with him, but it's, he's going to drop the ball. I got to do one at a gun bunch before I can move on. I get like 5 tries.
And Jay Petra, the other thing just in general, so for Madden Ultimate Team, my corners are Cromartie. I'll let Gibbs do this over here. My corners are Cromartie, Talib, Patrick Peterson, and Sherman, and they're 6'3". I had Ladarius Webb, and I was playing him out in the out on the edge. Ladarius Webb has to go in the slot. Ladarius Webb, when people were throwing to Calvin Johnson, I could literally see on the screen on Xbox 360. I'm just like, who is this guy out here so small? And it was a risk. I mean, did they catch that many passes over him? No, but I felt like if I clicked on, if it came down to it and there was a one-on-one battle, I wasn't winning it. So if it's 3rd and 12 and if you have a last-ditch effort, throw it to your biggest guy. Throw it to the Joseph Fouriers of the world.
6'7", Fourier. So actually, it worked a little bit better when I put him on a fade. So here you can see the same situation, and again, look I'm at the same angle as I was with the single back ace, and I think there's a little bit more of a practicality using it out of the gun bunch because you have other passing threats out of it, and you're not going to be worried about pressure. So same situation, I drop back 10 yards, I throw it right about the 15, I click on right away, and then I drag him back, click on, and you can see I post up the defender, and it just gives you a nice animation. You're going to get a catch tackle. It's not the rocket catch of old years, but it gives you that animation to make that big receiver play big.
That's what we're asking. That's what we're breaking down here on This Week in Madden, show 105. Let's take a look here at our next tip in the mailbag. What do you got for me, tech guy?
It's 2 for 2.
This one's coming in from the King. I'm playing on all Madden Xbox One. I'm making good reads, but can't complete anything.
So, you might be playing... Something to note, we talk about the differences between Xbox 360 and Xbox One. We say that Xbox 360, people say it looks the same, people say it plays different. Generally, if a corner route's going to get open against man-to-man coverage on Xbox 360, it's going to get open against Xbox One. It's just that the consistency of these reads and the defense is a little bit tighter. The zones, we talk a lot about a specific route on Xbox 360. The deep post over the middle of the field, sitting right underneath those deep zones of cover 4. You can just kind of fit things underneath of it. And that's maybe 75% completed, 25% dropped on 360. It's 50-50 here because the zones break down a tiny bit quicker. Guys get pressed a tiny second longer. There's just something to it. So let's show some basic reads on Xbox One here, but I'm with you, man. If you're going to be playing on all Madden on Xbox One, you can play a little bit of defense in the game. If you're shading, if you're taking away their main reads with underneath zones and stuff. We'll try and give you an example of some bench routes maybe that won't quite get open as much as they do. They're still open, but they're just, you got to get used to it.
So personally, what I think about the best way to attack a defense, if I'm going to give a beginner a tip to someone to be better right away, what I've found that's extremely successful is a gun tight, and we're going back to the play bench. And specifically the play bench where you have the inside receivers running the corner routes. They don't get pressed, and they can be pressed, but they don't always get pressed out of 2-man under defense. And I have found that these corner routes get the most separation than any other corner routes in the game.
So there's 2 types of bench. There's bench when the outside receivers are on corners, bench switch, bench swap, bench zig, bench zag, whatever. But these are a little bit more consistent. Obviously, Steve Smith matched up against the linebacker is going to be a win with Steve Smith's route running rating, getting him huge separation against the linebacker's man coverage rating. When he cuts, boom, right there, you're going to get a bigger window.
So what I'm seeing, though, is we're looking for that consistency factor, right? So you have all these other corner routes in the game, and on 360, I think any corner route in the game against man-to-man is a winner, right? But on next gen, that corner route, that route that most people rely on, they go to tight ends. It's 3rd and 10. What do people go to? Automatically rank games, they automatically go to a tight end corner route. Well, I think that the gun tight, gun snugs, gun whatever, just a gun tight formation, the play bench, these 2 corner routes on the inside, they're the best, most consistent corner route for getting separation against man-to-man in the game, in my opinion. You get the most separation on a consistent basis where the play gun bunch Z spot. I love it. My favorite play of the game, right? That corner route doesn't get the same separation as it does on 360.
Yeah, there's a lot of different corner routes out there. They all look the same, but they all do things a little bit differently. There's some from like 5 wides where the initial streak on the route's like 12 yards, so it's downfield, so it's a tougher throw. Sometimes the route on the corner is actually flatter. Sometimes it's a little deeper, which can let the CB get in underneath. So those are important things that you want to check out for sure.
So my favorite play, gun bunch flipped Z spot. This route is to Ted Ginn, and the reason why it's not getting separation is that route can typically be pressed, and when it gets pressed, the defender has a tendency, because it's 2 men under, they trail the receiver and they stay underneath the receiver, so I can't get that pass lead. And what ends up happening is I throw interceptions underneath on this route. So you'll probably most likely see it here. He didn't get pressed. He actually got crazy separation. Go ahead, Farls, and show blitz for me.
Yep.
I think the formation you're in probably isn't ideal. I think like a quarters usually does a little bit better job. But let's see if we get the press. We get the press there that time, and he actually roasted him. Ted Ginn, I guess, is just too strong. But
Kyle Wilson struggles a bit.
Kyle Wilson's pretty good at man coverage. But what we're looking for, just to show you what we're talking about, we're burning them every time here. But I will tell you that I have thrown many picks on this, and I used to look at this one route as my main read, as one of my main reads on this play. This is usually now my last resort, where like if I have nothing else open, maybe I should go back to it as my number one read, because Ted Ginn is destroying
sometimes it's just based on the formation. Corner routes definitely aren't as consistent on next gen as they are on current gen, in my opinion.
Right, they're definitely not. And the same thing with outs, right? And we've talked about before, and this is where I think the question comes in: is there's no consistency. And personally, that's probably a good thing, right? You don't want to have something that just beats something every single time. You want some variance to happen in the game. So corner route or outs, for example, they don't work all the time, especially against elite corners. They have a tendency to just attack.
Sherman eats them up.
Sherman eats outs.
Sometimes they'll get open. Sometimes your guy will just get pressed different. The coverage will just be a little bit different every now and then. Your timing has to be more exact. Things got to be more pinpoint. You can't throw 20-yard outs anymore. So those are all things when you're playing Next Gen Madden that you have to look forward to. And once the more you play, the better you'll get at it over the course of the season. So don't worry. Same thing should be working. Just got to be more pinpoint, especially if you're playing on all Madden. You know, you're doing it to yourself, which I respect. All right, guys, here we go. Let's take a look at the next question in the mailbag.
This one's coming in from Clunker. When playing defense, how can you begin to break down your opponent's tendencies?
So, when you're playing defense in Madden 25, whether you're playing on 360, PS3, Xbox One, PS4, it doesn't matter. The first thing I do is look at down and distance in play type. First down, my opponent comes out in 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end. I assume he's running the football. When I play a new opponent, I got to assume that they're going to start by running the ball or just playing in more of a base formation, and that all depends on the point in the game, the score, the yardage on the field. If it's 3rd and 15, that his tendency there is going to be probably call a deep pass or call some type of screen. So I got to know that going into it. As the game breaks down, what do? So when you pick your play, you can obviously see the personnel that your opponent's using. So if he's coming out in 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 halfback, I know he's more likely to pass or run some type of a draw or like shotgun counter of that sort. If he's coming out in 5 wide, I know I'm getting a pass. It really all depends. You've seen your opponent go to goal line on 3rd and inches all the time based on their personnel. You know they're going to sneak it. You try and cram everybody in the middle. That's the first thing I look at to break down my formation. The second thing is if they ever run a screen pass out of a formation, I know anytime they come out in that formation again, back of my mind, that's a tendency.
Screen!
That's a tendency. And one thing that you can use if you really want to get into tendencies and breaking down your opponent's game plan, if you're playing in a league, check their stats before the game. If they have 1,700 yards receiving with Calvin Johnson on 200 catches in the league, and you're playing him in the playoffs, but his next famous receiver is only
4 catches.
4 catches on the season, guess who you should be covering? Guess who he likes to go to? Guess
Calvin
who you should be
Johnson.
targeting? Maybe he puts Calvin Johnson at tight end and does some shenanigans. Who knows? But you know that you're getting a heavy dose of Calvin Johnson, and you know that's his tendency. By using the Coach Glass, which is on Xbox One, your little iPad, the Smart Glass, you get all the information of all the plays they just called, all the formations, and it recommends some plays. That'll at least give you a play history of what they're calling, and that can help you with tendencies as well. So generally you have your base defense where you're coming out to stop the run, then you have kind of your base pass defense in like a base long blitz. So depending on the down and distance, the personnel, and what you've seen from your opponent, that's how I'd go about stopping your opponent's game plan and reading his tendencies.
You gonna be all right after that one?
Anything to note on that?
That was a long one. I feel
like you just call the same defense all the time, just make adjustments. Where I'm like, at least like I can just sometimes I feel it. I'm like,
right.
This guy's calling a screen right now.
Where I look at like a tendency from somebody. Number one is I like to look at a new like formations they use, and then I recognize, okay, they do this, they do this, they do this, they do this. What are they doing from each formation? And then typically where I find that I really learn what my opponent likes to do is when they start going no huddle. So let's kind of script the game, right? It's the first drive, they go down, they score 7-0, you get the ball, it's 7-7, now they get the ball back, you pick them off, you get up, you go 14-7. Next drive, all of a sudden out of nowhere, they just go Oregon Duck speed and they just go no huddle, no huddle, no huddle, and it's like, oh, this is what you really want to do. And then you kind of figure out from that no huddle where they like to go with the ball, they start throwing corners. Typically, always watch out for a corner route on third down. I would say that's probably my number one tendency. Look for a corner route on third down because
especially if
that's like the bailout route.
Especially if you're playing an online rank game.
Online rank, definitely.
And you're still getting your skill points up and you're getting matched up just against generic people. That's where they're going to tend to go. They're going to tend to look over the middle, tend to look to the tight end, tend to look at what they think is open at the snap of the ball. So take it away, and you should be all set. All right, so at the Virgin Gaming Challenge Series, T. Davis took down Daryl. I believe it was maybe their third game in, fourth game in. It was live stream. I invited Daryl to play tonight. Couldn't make it. I said, Daryl, come get your revenge. Try and take down T. Davis. But Daryl, T. Davis, both good Boston guys, and that's what we love having on the show. We love good quality Madden. We're going to get a good game of the week tonight between SGibs and T. Davis. This rivalry stems back a long time ago. However, on Twim 50, they played each other. T. Davis got the win on This Week in Madden Show 50. So that's 55 shows ago, as we're on 105 right now.
I'm $100 poor because of that.
A lot of history.
I'm $100 poor. He's $100 richer than me because of that day.
Boom. So now you got to catch up. Who knows? All right, here we go. That's what's going on. In about 15 minutes, we'll get into the game of the week. I'll be commentating that. Boys, teams. Can I get some teams? Can I get some playbooks? What are we talking?
My team?
No.
Bengals.
Niners.
All right, so we're gonna have a Bengals, SGibs, Niners, T. Davis game of the week coming up in 15 minutes.
Bengals.
But right now, we're gonna take a look at our next tip in the mailbag. What do we have? Let's see.
This one's coming in from Militant X1. How can you defend against the pistol full house formation?
So this is a great question coming in from Milton, asking about how to stop the pistol ace or the pistol full house formation. And we've talked about before how to stop the full house formation, and the same type of theory applies, right? You want to not respect the guys in the backfield running vertical patterns because there's not really many vertical patterns they can run. So in this instance, we're going to go to a pistol full house, and you're going to see most of the routes from this formation, not too many verticals. There's a PA flood comeback, there's the PA comeback, but I would say that if someone's in the full house, they're looking to either A, run the ball, probably run read options, or look to do some quick dink and dunks.
3rd and 2. Very tough 3rd and 2 formation.
Because the ball could go anywhere. They got 3 guys in the backfield. They got a quarterback. They can run the option. This angle route to Barner's tough to write. This is a Problem's pistol playbook. This is his main formation. This is what he was using at the beginning of the season, and it can be difficult. But I would say focus on stopping the flats, number one, and then the short middle with a user defender. You want to stop the flats and then take away the short middle with a user defender and not worry about anything deep. Now, on next gen, if you're playing with teams that have elite DBs, so in this situation we have Antonio Cromartie, I really feel extremely comfortable leaving him on an island.
I'm fine.
I really, really do.
Especially from the 30 and in, because you don't have as much space downfield.
You just can't really fit it in. Like it's just not there. On current gen, you play 2 men under, and if you drop the safeties, it was almost like touchdown.
Throw.
Like it didn't matter who it was. But on next gen, you can really play some defense and not have the safeties.
And if it's 3rd and 2, and I don't, if it's 3rd and 2, and I don't move these guys, Is your first thing going to be go deep? By the time you know that these guys are in flats, it's too late to throw it. You almost need me to press, and you need me to be blitzing, and you just bomb it downfield.
Pro tip about flat zones. Pro tip. We'll break this down later. Should we break it down later, or should we break it down now about the flats?
We'll break it down later.
Break it down later. We'll hang on to the flat.
Guys,
zones.
there will be TWIM on Christmas night.
There will be TWIM.
We'll have tips for you, and also
on Christmas night?
New Year's night, Wednesday. Tough schedule, but we will accommodate you with Madden tips. So there's still a lot more tips, so don't worry. Full season's worth.
And you should be excited about that Christmas show because we're going to go over in depth about next-gen flat zones and why they're so effective and how you can make your defense better on next-gen. So, again, the full house, remember, what is probably the goal? It's like when we talk about how to defend the read option. What do people want to do, Farls, when someone runs a read option? What's their goal?
Run with the quarterback.
Run with the quarterback. That's usually why they're doing it. If they wanted to run with the halfback, they would just run a halfback base or inside zone because those are the best runs in the game, right? Yes, with read options and QB powers, you get kind of like dual threat. You can run with the quarterback or run with the halfback. But typically, they're trying to scramble with the quarterback and pick up yards. That's just, in my opinion, that's the main goal of the read option. What's the main goal of the full house? To, once again, run the ball with the quarterback, look to get every single receiver and halfback in the backfield involved in the pass game, run game, short dink and dunk passes. So your goal as a defense, take those reads away. So how do you do that? Again, 2 men under, leave your best DB on an island, take away the flats, and then you patrol the short middle of the field.
I love it. You got to be looking out of the backfield. Plus, so the Niners have, a formation with Vernon Davis is it's full house tight end, so the tight end's in tight to the line. So, if you're calling cover 3 and you have a DB who's on a zone out here, you almost don't even have to have him play here because, Vernon Davis is here. The only thing he can really run is a corner route out here. So you got to kind of match up and balance against these formations. But I love to drop my defensive ends into, some spies just because they'll drop at the snap of the ball and hopefully can... That can happen. Weird things can happen. Just create a mess in the middle of the field. But this formation is easy. It's an easy formation for beginners to use because the passes are quick and the reads are easy, and it beats man. However, for really good player, then it drops off. Then you don't see it, and then really good players can use it because really good players can attack outside the numbers. If you are running pistol full house, like we say. Good players attack outside the numbers. Bad players don't really know how. So they're going to run slants, and that's just going to create more tension in the middle of the field. Only good players are going to throw outs, outside the numbers, and use your catch and do different things, and throw deep if you leave it open to them. So otherwise, if you're running 5 routes right to the middle of the field, I don't care. I'm going to just drop, and just cover 2 sink and just mess things up. So that's how I would go about defending that. All right, let's take a look here at our next mailbag question.
This one's coming in from Fred WH. What is the best offensive concept to use to run a no-huddle offense?
All right, Fred. Fred WH is getting in the running for Question Asker of the Year, along with Splash McSplash, who's dropping down a little bit, and Gibbs Got Dibs, also on the rise.
On the rise, okay.
All right,
okay.
That's where we're at. Fred, if I was going to run a spread scheme, I would go no huddle.
Other way around.
Fred, if I was going to run a no huddle scheme, I would go straight gun spread. Here's why. Especially if I had a mobile quarterback, I feel like the gun, I wouldn't really go empty yet. We'll get to that later, but I'd go with maybe a gun spread normal, and I'd come out in a play like smash or slot flags or something like that with corner routes, since, once again, those are the only things I can't make. I need something that has a good run out of it to make them pay if they're dropping guys back. So, something like...
We don't have
something like Saint Smash, but you obviously don't want this auto motion. That way I can beat almost everything that I see. I'm going to hope that my... I'd call it pretty much like this. If it's zone, everyone's going to drop back. I'm going to put Williams on option route. I'm going to put him on a streak. I'm going to put him on a wheel. I'm going to put him on all these different things depending on how they're playing me and what I think is going to get open. I'm going to look to the drag. I'm going to look to playmaker. I'm going to look to scramble with the quarterback. You can do so many things from gun spread when you're at the line of scrimmage. I'm going to also make sure that depending on my custom book, that I have 4 verticals. So if I get zone, obviously your four verticals will be a little bit better, but if I get the zone that I want, I'm going to make sure that I hit this and try and get the ball downfield, potentially in the seam for a big gain. I'm going to look, it's so easy because if you have a draw, if you have corner routes, you can beat man with drags and all that. If you have good halfback routes, if you have halfback draw, you can run the ball if they drop people back. If you have an HB base or something like that, or a 45 corner, you have all that. You can throw outs. You can audible to four verticals. You can audible play like quick slants. You can maybe find things that have a halfback screen or a wide receiver screen and have a quick play that'll beat the blitz. There's so much you can do from gun spread, and it's the same from every formation. It's in every playbook. Find one that works for you, and this is what I go to at the end of the game. Is if I need something, I'll just get into a good motion, and I'll see what I can do with it.
Yeah, what I would say in a no-huddle situation, I think one of the most important things to have success with no-huddle is to be able to, what's the word I'm looking for here? On the go, be creative. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Ingenuity?
No, maybe just be creative. Maybe just be creative, right? And what I say by being creative, what
freestyle?
Yeah, sort of. Be innovative, I guess. What I mean by that, and I think that you are what. This is a pat on the back for my good friend.
I'm not going to take this as a compliment. I am not taking this as a compliment.
You should take it as a compliment because I think you're one of the best I've ever seen at this. You are tremendous at using the playmaker with the quarterback and using that to your advantage. You always. I've seen you do it time and time again. Usually, it's like you don't even look at your other reads. You just have that one guy. You clear everyone out. You look to run with the quarterback, and then you have your playmaker guy, and then you go. You do that better than anyone I've ever seen.
It's not a compliment.
And I think that to have success long term in a no-huddle situation, especially on next gen, I really think that you need to have that ingenuity. Is that the word I was looking for? The ingenuity?
That Tony Romo.
No, not the Tony Romo.
No, the good Tony Romo.
The good Tony Romo.
The creativity.
The creativity. The Ben Roethlisberger. Shake a guy.
I go rogue.
Right. You need to have
so
a little bit of that.
I'm good at going rogue, but you hate when I go rogue.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not the best at that because, I'm like a creature. I have to run my setup this way. Okay, I know I like this play like this, so I'm gonna run it that way. Whereas you have a lot more flexibility because you're kind of it's like a blank canvas, and you're just kind of constantly painting.
Right. I depend on what I see. I put corner routes and outs and
improvise.
Improvise.
That's the word, ladies and gentlemen. What?
Ace Boogie, bro.
You need to improvise. That's what you need to do. If you want to be successful long term with a no-huddle on Next Gen Madden, you need to be able to improvise on the go, literally in a no-huddle situation.
Just know that the more you improvise, the more you make stuff up as you go, the more turnovers you have. So by learning the setups, getting the playbooks, checking out the winner's kit, you will have the setups that you need to get into good positions. Overall, improvisation is good, but if you're improvising, that means you're kind of in a bad position to start. So I recommend it, and I don't recommend it. It really depends on who I'm playing. So it is a fun way to play, though, I will say. Be a cowboy out there. Red fire. All right, here we go. Next mailbag question.
A gunslinger.
This one's coming in again from Gibbs Got Dibs. What are the downsides to using two quarterbacks? Example, Dalton or Johnson or Cutler and McCown.
Let me take this one. So the downside from Gibbs.Dibs, the downside to using two different quarterbacks in Madden 25 is you don't get into a rhythm. Here's what my problem, right? Anytime I've ever used two quarterbacks, I use a mobile quarterback first, and I'm like, okay, I'm only going to sprinkle them in a little bit. Well, then what ends up happening is I use them first down, second down, then I'm a third down, and then I forget. I have a brain cramp, and I forget. It's Andy Dalton, and I can't scramble. And I look to scramble, boom, sack. So that's my problem with using two quarterbacks. You need to have ridiculous. I can't think of this word now. What's the word I'm looking for? Ridiculous. This is a bad night. I can't think. Ridiculous.
Well, I forget. I'm not even on your train of thought.
You need to have. What's the word I'm looking for?
Start your sentence over again.
If you, I'm a mess. I can't think. If you're looking to, I'm done. I can't think.
Okay.
I can't think.
Okay. Here's my beef.
Take over.
Here's my beef with two quarterback systems. Let's go to Xbox One real quick. So if you are used to playing with a team like the Bengals, if you play with the Ravens, you have Joe Flacco, you have Tyrod Taylor as your backup. we teach you this all the time. We say if you have a fast quarterback as a backup or any player that you could use, sub them into the quarterback position.
Discipline.
Discipline. Now I'm going to get lost. All right, anyway, so sub that guy in and run some other plays that you can use his scheme for. The problem with that is discipline. You're going to run some weird plays, and you're going to improvise, and then you're going to run into trouble because you're going to be making random plays, and you're going to be looking to run. And like we say with the read option, 99% of the time, the appropriate thing to do is just hand the ball off. But 75% of the time, you want to run with the quarterback if you're a newer player because it's fun. It's all that. So you can make bad plays. The other thing is if you're playing a good opponent, what they're going to see is, okay, this guy has Josh Johnson in the game for some reason. He's going to be running with Josh Johnson. Why does he have him in the game all of a sudden? Why is he in the full house? Well, okay, he's obviously going to be using him. You wouldn't just put him in the game and then not use him. So you get this whole other chess match element to it. If you have Andy Dalton as your quarterback, and then all of a sudden Andy Dalton's not in the game. Like I used to use Colin Kaepernick, and I'd put in Alex Smith when I need to throw an out because Alex Smith has short accuracy. Short accuracy factors into all throws under 20 yards. So I would say, I need Alex Smith here to throw this out. Kaepernick's too inconsistent. If I see Alex Smith come in the game and I'm playing me, I get rid of deep zones because I'm not going to throw the ball deep with Alex Smith. He got no throw power, no deep downfield accuracy, Madden 13. I'm going to clamp down. Colin Kaepernick, on the other hand, I know he's a more dangerous threat. It really depends on where you want to go. But it's a tell. It's basically a tell of, hey, he's something's up because why would he change his quarterback for no reason?
Right, and so back to my train of thought there about the discipline factor. Where I first kind of saw that this year, I saw someone that did a great job with this was actually playing Mutt. I was playing the guy Haas Suggs, right? So he had a great Mutt team. His Mutt team, his quarterback was the best non-mobile quarterback in the game. It was, I think it was maybe like Dan Marino or something, right? And then he had Terrell Pryor. He only used Terrell Pryor in the run and gun playbook in the Tebow, the jet heavy formation.
Yep.
And he only used Pryor for that formation to run the ball. And he actually had another package with guys like Deshaun Jackson. He never really used Deshaun Jackson outside of that formation. He used Jackson to, on that sweep, on the jet sweep. So what I look at that, I think if you're going to use two quarterbacks, you need to make sure you have ridiculous discipline to not spam Terrell Pryor in other instances where he's not going to be that good. And you want to, if you have a Dan Marino, use Dan Marino for those situations. Or just live and die by the Pryor. Live and die by the Josh Johnson. Just pick one, and then just, that's it. I sit Andy Dalton. I sit him.
I use Sammy Baugh and Mutt for the most part, but then, like I say,
it's like that time.
I'll bring in Bob Griffin, I'll bring in Russell Wilson, go ham.
It's like that time when we played Chad Ochocinco in Madden. I looked him straight in the face, and I said, yes, I'm going to sit you.
In his own house. You bench Chad Ochocinco in front of his face.
For Taylor Price.
Because he's got 96 speed.
And I did it.
Fact of life.
And I did it, and I made him put the controller down. Next question.
All right, next question.
Hardo!
Is Gun Snug still good? What are some great plays in this formation? And this is on 360, he's asking.
Gun Snug. So, once again, Gun Snugs, we showed a little bit on Xbox One, but we'll go to 360 and take a look. I believe we have the Saints playbook on offense over here. Let's back out and take a look. Now, Gibbs, talk a little bit about the Saints.
What we got here?
We have tight slots.
I think you have the
Seahawks.
The Seahawks. So go to tight slots. You can find something out of there. Go to, you know what? It's not gun tight.
Single back?
Just use the bench. Use the bench.
Okay.
Bench. Stock bench, yeah. Because this, I haven't tried this on current gen yet, but I'm going to guess that it's still very effective. I bet those inside corners get crazy separation. Go. I'm just guessing. Yeah. I think it's because they're not going to get pressed. And I don't know if it's like we've overlooked this, but I think that if you... Here's how I think you run it. I think that you zig or actually out the X receiver.
Okay.
Smart route. Then I want you to drag Tate. And I want you to... Rice, you'd slant or streak them. Because you were thinking the right side's for zone.
Maybe wheel.
Yeah, I like a streak to Rice, even though he's going to get pressed. Just because if it's zone, you got an inside pass lead to him. So you have Harvin is a man beater. Then you have the Y route is going to get inside separation. You're going to beat man there, and then you motion out that drag route to get the bench bonus separation.
If it's a different formation, you can.
Right.
Gotcha.
So I kind of like that. I mean, I think that gun snugs can be very good, and especially if you look at the gun tight from the New Orleans Saints playbook, Saint spot shake, arguably probably the best pass play in the game. And you've seen Zan use it. You saw Zan use it first this year. Zan created that monster, and then you saw other people start using it. We saw on the game of the week, we saw Bronco use it as well. He used it a couple. He didn't use it like Zan did, but he used it sparingly.
Yeah, check out Zan's channel. It's Forward Progress Madden. He's a great player who uses gun snugs. He motions across. It's frustrating to play him because he always motions.
You can't really defend it.
A guy left to the right, so because he's got a bunch right, and it's just a tough formation to stop. That's out of the Saints playbook. He's using it for a long time. I'm sure he has breakdowns on it, so
yeah,
something to look at.
It's if you're looking to have a dominant passing offense in Madden 25. I know it's a run game, but if you're looking to have a dominant passing offense, you got to look into that gun tight Saint spot shake, and you got to try and talk to your man Zan and see if he can give you some tips how to run it, because it is above and beyond the hardest passing offense I've faced all season long.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, and gun snugs guys always been good. It's tight. Everything's in tight. Everything's in the hash marks. The game has trouble aligning against it. Players get all jumbled together. I mean, even a simple, this is obviously a certain formation, but look where the halfback is. That's manned up against Marshawn Lynch. It's Woodyard right there. He's not going to be able to get all the way out across there. You can always have that flat pretty much. It's going to be a tough formation to defend in every year, Madden, because it's tough to defend in real life as well. So let's take a look here. Got just a couple more questions to run through, and then we'll get into the game of the week. SGibs against T. Davis, Bengals, Niners. A big battle coming up on Xbox One. T. Davis in the house.
We weren't lying.
Good
He's here.
matchup.
He's here. Shout out to King Jason in the chat.
King Jason.
King Jason is back. He is back.
Good player. He came in. He also came in. He's a local guy, I believe.
King Jason for the bread.
Back in Twim 30, Twim 40, back in those days. Long time. All right, here we go. Any more cues?
Couple more cues? No more cues?
All right, let's hit
couple
'em.
more cues? 3 more cues?
Rapid fire, bro. Let's do this.
There it is. One more from Gibbs Got Dibs. What are the best user rush moves when playing Next Gen Madden 25?
All right, so if you're on the defensive line in Next Gen Madden on the Xbox One, what we'll do is you really have to set up your blitz to build around the rush moves. I mean, you can go one-on-one here, maybe get a guy with pretty good acceleration, but the key is that you want to use the right stick. You can actually kind of fight with your hands. So if you're going to try and come strong around this left side, if you want to kind of dip, you're going to use the right stick to get around the outside. But if you want to cut back to the middle, you're going to crank the left stick, and then you're going to go the other way and try and hand fight and just try and get off blocks. So at the snap of the ball, you want to engage with your blocker.
You didn't get there right away.
I didn't get there before I hit the right stick, so you want to make sure you actually get lined up. I mean, the game is going to let you rush up field all the way because the quarterback's going to step up in the pocket. So if you're Cam Newton, I'm in man-to-man defense, and I rush up field with him and never make engage with the tackle, you can run out of that pocket pretty easily.
Right.
So we know, once again, we don't recommend playing with the defensive lineman, but certain guys,
Shotmaster is a beast.
is a guy who's practiced it.
He uses it on the
and been pretty
interior
good.
of the line. He uses a D-tackle.
Guys can do that. I would use it against under center. I would do that, and maybe just work the right stick. You can see Wilkerson trying to make plays and fight across the middle right there, but ultimately you're going to want to go to the side that does not have the tight end on it, just because he's going to get in your way potentially, and hopefully you can at least free up somebody else on your defensive line. That was the most success I had with it, was using Justin Tuck, and that allowed JPP to get in the game and make some plays on the quarterback. So use that right stick. It is a lot better. If you are a guy who uses plays with the defensive lineman, you couldn't really do anything on Xbox 360. It was too hard to do moves. Now the stick's at least responsive to your hand, so worth it.
Right, and hopefully, honestly, we're looking for that to become more of a dominant feature moving forward. If you could get really good on the defensive line, take a Julius Peppers and just rip in and just cause havoc on the D-line, that would be something that would be fun. It might actually change the way we all play the game. Right now we use the guys in coverage because we try and make up for some of the coverage issues within the game, and if you could change that, flip that, have a good game going forward.
Mind blown. All right, here we go. Next question.
This one's coming in from JC20. Can you help with one good run stopping play from the 3-4 Eagles user here? Any other schemes?
So the best playbooks to use with the Eagles, I would say.
So a good way to stop the run from a 3-4 set, and this is a tip actually that comes straight from Zan. He actually was talking about this with me today. A tip that he was suggesting was if you take a look at a 3-4, we're going to look at 3-4, let's see if we have it. I don't think we have the play we're looking for, but what we're trying to find is a play that has two safeties in hook zones. And what that does is those hook zones attack the line of scrimmage and they attack the run.
We talked about deep zones in there at the snap of the ball, how they drop back away from the play. So if you get safeties that are in hook zones, they'll actually play the run better.
So I actually know the play, what it is. It's 3-4 over sting pinch zone. Both safeties are in hooks. And they do a great job at attacking the line of scrimmage at the snap of the ball, and you still have two deep zones on the outside, but because the safeties attack so well, it plays better run support. So that's something I would recommend. I'll try and mimic it here with the Trio Sky Zone the best I can, but I don't know if hot running the guy in is going to change that at all. So let me do this and rebalance the line. Hey, buddy. I'm just going to make him go over there. So, Farls, got any plans later? What are you doing? You gonna play some Civ later or what?
Perhaps.
So, this is what the sting pinch looks like. You have the two safeties here, and here's what's different. See Landry, see how his hook zones, he's going forward. You have Allen, his hook's going backwards. I think that's going to change what's happening here. So here's the run. You would typically see those hooks attack, and it's a little bit different out of this because of what I just mentioned, but if you run that sting pinch, you're going to have a little bit more success stopping the run without having to play a 2-man under and or a cover 2, and you'll have good run support on the outside.
All right, so find that play and check it out. If I was going to run the Philly, I would probably go with either Pittsburgh book on defense or maybe Detroit book. Those are some options that might give you a little bit better. I'm not a huge 3-4 guy. I tend to like the 3-4 a little bit better as just a base defense. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at the next question in the mailbag.
Last one coming in from JC20. Again, what is the ice defense? What D to use for Ravens, Saints, Colts?
All right, Ravens, Saints, and Colts. Ravens have a really good defensive book on their own. You can get a lot done with it. Saints, not actually a bad team. Their defense has gotten a lot better. Colts, in the same fashion, not one of the better defenses, but still not horrible. Both have some pretty good defensive ends. So for those books, once again, go forward down linemen, the two we just talked about, with the Steelers book or the Detroit book is going to give you a little bit more, some nickel stuff in there. All right, so the ice defense is basically just...
Can't give away all the secrets of it.
Right.
It's a winner's kit product, and it's for people that have the winner's kit, but we'll kind of explain a little bit about what the process is.
It's a bonus to the Pittsburgh scheme. So you can go to MaddenTips.com, get the discount, use the code TWIM. It's in one of our 4 defensive books. Basically, it's my defense, my nickel 3-3-5. It's a 2-man under base defense, and what it allows me to do is it gives me the freedom to not have to set things up before the play, but leaves me with time to make some pretty simple adjustments, and it works on both current and next gen. It also goes along with the fire defense, so I have fire and ice. Fire is just all out heat, all out gas, all out, can you pick this up, can you throw to the halfback before I can get to you? But the ice is just a more patient, something I call most of the game, and I don't feel like you really need to blitz all that well. You know, next gen, it's not too hard to stop the run out of like passing formation, so you can get away with playing 3 down line most of the game, maximize your rush angles, take away the 1 or 2 things that your opponent likes to target most, and just be patient, make them dink and dunk, and ultimately hopefully get that hit stick with a good team to take things away. So,
right, and one of the things that we stress with the ice defense, and this goes along with the way what we were talking about earlier with how Farls plays offense. He is freestyle. He kind of never really knows what he's doing. He just adapts to what he sees and what he feels and what's happening to him. And one thing that we really stress in that ice defense is taking advantage of your swing defenders. And swing defenders is something we teach you in the winner's kit and we teach you in the ice defense. And what a swing defender is on each and every single play, no matter if it's a zone, it's a blitz, coverage, it doesn't matter what it is. Every play has a swing defender, and a swing defender can be used to your advantage, to your defense's advantage, to put in the best situation possible to maximize the defense, to take away what your opponent is doing. So if you want to try and take something away, we tell you who the swing defender is in this defense. We tell you what you need to do to hot route to him to take what away.
And he's going to
we show you how to do it for multiple things.
Right. So against bunch, he's going to need to cover a different area of the field than he does against spread, than he does against Niners heavy. So we give you some generic formations that you're going to see online and see in other people's playbooks. We teach you, okay, this is the alignment you want with this ice D. This is your swing defender. If you see this is your swing defender. If you see that, this is a good zone to try. This is another zone if they're doing this. So it's just read and react. I don't like setups that are too intensive and all you're focused on is the setup and you can't see what your opponent's really doing. I like to just kind of watch my opponent and just say, yeah, I think this is coming, and kind of go with that, and the swing defender in the ice defense gives me that. And I'll let underneath throws go all day long and ultimately look to take care of business with it.
And I think the most important thing about the ice D in the winner's kit is that if you're a guy that doesn't want to do a lot of setups, if you're someone that's someone that doesn't feel confident in having to do 10 things before the snap of the ball, if you play in a league that doesn't allow a million adjustments or multiple blitzes play after play, then the ice defense is for you, because the ice defense is just it's more of a coverage, it's more of a reactionary based defense where what are they doing? Okay, I'm going to take that away now, and then you're going to give something else up.
But it's a lifestyle.
You're taking away something and giving something else.
It's a lifestyle because it's in another formation in our newest guide, all that is in the winner's kit. So if you're into it, let me know. And if you have any more questions, hit me up. You can email me, ZFarlsn @maddentips.com, or Twitter @MaddenBible, all that jazz. But we are going to take a short break. We're going to get set up for the game of the week. We got T. Davis taking on S. Gibbs in the game of the week, a Bengals-Niners matchup. I'm going to commentate, and we will do a giveaway. We'll actually give away. What do you want to give away? Can we give away a winner's kit right now? No.
Fine.
Yes, executive decision.
Sure.
To enter for the winner's kit, all you have to do is guess the score of tonight's game of the week, and I will make that post right now. And I will post the link in both chats if I can do that. Otherwise, just go to facebook.com/MaddenTips.
Lock up.
All right, guys, we are here on the game of the week, This Week in Madden Show 105. We got T. Davis, who was on TWIM 50, episode 50, in studio, getting ready to take on S. Gibbs. Gibbs is going to be using the Bengals tonight. He's got his depth chart all set up. T. Davis going with the 49ers. He's got his depth chart all set up. We are taking your winner's kit predictions. You got about 2 more minutes to get your predictions in on facebook.com/MaddenTips. We're giving away a winner's kit. We just did that. All right. Couple more minutes here, and then we are going to be underway. Gibbs, what are you thinking going into this game? Now, T. Davis, as you know, beat Daryl in the Virgin Gaming Challenge Series in Vegas. I think it was game 3 or 4. And Daryl's in the chat rooting for, I don't know.
Daryl's in the house?
Yeah, Daryl's in the chat hanging out. We're in the chat on twitch.tv. We got Madden Tips, twitch.tv/Madden Tips going on. We got twitch.tv/Prima Games. We got lots of streaming going on.
Falls with his noob settings. Those noob settings, Falls.
All right, kickoff is underway right here. Is Gibbs going to go with the deep kick or the short kick? I will be talking a lot. Competitors, don't listen to me. I am talking for the chat. I'll be
listening to you.
Interacting. I'll be listening. I'll be taking your questions. If you guys write good jokes in the chat, I will read them live. Should be having a lot of fun, though. Deep kick for S. Gibbs on Next Gen. And that's, guys, on Next Gen, I completely recommend kicking deep. I think it's pretty important.
We're playing on separate TVs here.
It's legit. Yep, we got 2 separate TVs going on. Always a decent option here. Gibbs, I found your burrito in the freezer, in the fridge. A steak burrito that Gibbs got for himself. Number 3. This is going to be his 3rd burrito on the day. That's fine. I don't judge him. But I'm holding it hostage right now. And every time you let up a touchdown, I'm taking a bite. So if he scores on his opening drive, I'm going to heat this up, and we're going to get underway. And I'm going to eat it right in front of you as motivation. So
you're going to eat that. It's not mine. It's yours.
Get ready.
Not mine.
It's gonna be mine now. It's gonna be mine now.
Da, 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 da.
All right, the run right with Frank Gore. Now, I believe, was that the off tackle? I missed that play, but
You can't ask me questions.
all right. Here we go.
I'm
I got to do a better job. All right, you play.
Battle. You can't ask me questions.
You play. Here we go. All right. Sorry about that. Whatever. Here we go. Single back, shotgun bunch. We got Carrier in the slot. We got good patience by T. Davis there in the pocket. Colin Kaepernick, unfortunately, takes a helmet to the ball hand, and now the play will be blown dead. I need to get into this matchup. SGibs making defensive substitution, getting his players in the best position to make plays on 3rd and 9, opening drive. T. Davis coming out once again, shotgun bunch, 3 receivers right, motions Frank Gore out to the right, and Gibbs is going to go down into, and a sack comes in by Vontez Burfict. A perfect call for 3rd and 9. And 4th and 15, opening drive. T. Davis looks to be going for it, or perhaps just getting his players set up for a later punt. No, he's going to go for it. He's going to come out in the single back tight doubles formation, a good formation. And this is a big play early in this game, 4th and 15. You got to like going for it. These guys are playing serious John Madden football right now in this game. I am closing the thread. And SGibs is going to take a timeout. I love that timeout call by SGibs. Huge play in this game. Early, you see what he comes out and you take a timeout. Gibbs usually has already wasted more timeouts at this point in the game than normal. So I love it. And decently fast snap by T. Davis on 4th and 15. Gibbs drops back, plays over the middle. Perfect at this early part of the game, and eventually gets the sack over the middle. You can only throw so many routes on 4th and 15. You can't, 4th and 5, you can go a little bit shorter. Gibbs did a good job user covering the route that could have beat him there on 4th and 15. All right, let's see what Gibbs comes out in. Looks like he's going with the gun empty formation. T. Davis looking to get set up and rocking his players. Gibbs going to go with a screen. And Gibbs, I know what happened there. He tried to throw the ball away. Unfortunately, he pump faked because Xbox 360, the right stick is so huge that when you go to click down on it, you ultimately push it forward. Gibbs here, 2nd and 21. Calls the auto motion. B gets open over the middle of the field, AJ Green, but he ends up bumping into somebody. And now Gibbs has 20 yards. He's trying to hurry up. He needs to be smart here. We'll see what he does. 3rd and 20, he's in range. He can take a sack, but not really. But he also can't turn it over on 3rd and 20. Gibbs goes with the PA jet sweep, and he's going to try and roll with Johnson and throw the ball. Good stop by T. Davis there after an early defensive offensive turnover on downs. Holds SGibs to just 3 points on his opening drive as Gibbs pops it through the upright. So let's see what we have here. Gibbs is going to kick deep one more time on this drive. If you're Gibbs there, you're happy you got to stop on your first drive, but you'd like to get 7, but you at least saw what
shouldn't have gotten no huddle after the sack.
The defense is going to do, and it's up to SGibs. We play so different. Gibbs coming out in an empty set. I would have probably ran the ball after the turnover, but it all depends on what type of feel you want to get for your opponent. All right, T. Davis coming out in single back tight doubles. Going to play action and throw quickly over the middle to Crabtree. A nice gain on the play action fake. T. Davis, as you know, is going to come out in a similar play every time, get his personnel that he wants out there and be able to audible. It's a way that people play that gives you good confidence, gives you a good read, you know what you can be, and then you can audible to and from there. So you can always go up to the next personnel set. Gibbs looking to bring some defenders down. Motion snap is given to Gore, and Gore is going to break that run deep. Frank Gore going to the house for a 7-3 lead for T. Davis. Got a good block, a nice motion. Always good to motion a receiver over. Get a matchup, get the guy you want over there, and pile drive him down the field. And that means I get to take my first bite of the burrito, folks. There you go. right. McCaleb breaks it outside and gets a nice return back to the 34-yard line. A well-timed juke. That juke right there is really the only way to get outside on next gen. You can't really left stick it like you can on Xbox 360 to get that juke. T. Davis is in the same room. He's sitting like 4 feet in front of SGibs, and it's just a little cramped over there. SGibs with the out, 2nd and inches to Marvin Jones. Let's see what he goes with here. Does he go down to the run formation? Does he go down to stay in the pass formation? And does he go play action, go deep bomb? Who knows? Gio Bernard fumbles. Bengals get on the football. I believe that was Culliver on the hit, so not a big hitter that he's running into. Still want to cover up, though. Still want to protect the ball. Haven't seen Gio fumble too many away, but still something to worry about when you're playing the Niners. Here, underneath route to Hawkins. Faces off against Patrick Willis. A nice 7-yard gain on a route over the middle of the field. Gibbs with Josh Johnson. Jet sweep to Hawkins. Block is sealed, and Gibbs can't make the cut to put that away. But still, a nice gain. Moving the ball much better than his first drive. Both players looking better on their first drive after seeing the defense's PA jet sweep here. Josh Johnson looking to roll. Gibbs can't throw the ball away once again. Needs to either not do that or figure out something different to ultimately break that play open. Good job by getting to the flat by T. Davis on defense there for sure. Route to Hawkins, open over the middle, dropped. 3rd and 9 coming up here. Gibbs in field goal range, needs a 9-yard play to get a first down. Wonder if he's considered about going to 4th and this early in the game. Who knows? Quick throw to Eifert on a route to the sideline. Gets open for a 13-yard gain. A big play for Gibbs there. Nice route. Gibbs back out in the empty set. Gives it on the jet sweep to Hawkins. Gets in behind the blocker for 4 yards. 24 seconds left in the first quarter. T. Davis up 7-3. And Gibbs goes across the middle to Jones for a short gain. Now it's 3rd and 5 with 13 seconds left in the quarter. Will he call a play? Will he take it to the quarter? Who knows? Nope, going with a quick snap. And he's going to roll with Josh Johnson. And he's going to get a first down out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Second quarter, they're going to change sides of the field. That dive tackle was almost there. Lemonier just not able to catch Josh Johnson around the corner. That's why you play with the Bengals and use a guy like Josh Johnson. Let's see what T. Davis has for the QB sneak. Able to lock it up on first down. A nice play to get Dorsey up in the grill. And Gibbs tries to take the power route outside on 2nd and goal. Loses 2 yards. Now a huge 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. What does he go with? Wow. Gibbs tries to take it off tackle, loses another yard. It's going to take the points. A big goal line stand from T. Davis with some good defense on the first down. Quarterback sneak. Gibbs with the hurry up, tries to take it to the outside. T. Davis locked up. Good 7-6 game going on here in the second quarter. Gibbs Bengals going to kick deep to T. Davis's 49ers. Michael James back for the kickoff. Gonna get hit at the 21-yard line. Another play coming up here. So T. Davis stopped on his first drive, able to break a big run with Frank Gore on his second drive on a nice motion by Manningham. Here you see Colin Kaepernick patting the butt. That usually means a run play. Here Colin Kaepernick is very patient in the pocket. Had 46 streaking down the sideline on maybe like a tight end wheel route of some sort. And Kaepernick unfortunately hits his helmet on his lineman for the second time. Both players audible and getting ready. Quick snap, throw. Vernon Davis picks up 7 yards. 7 yards on the play here. Both guys live in studio in Boston playing some John Madden football on This Week in Madden Show 105, brought to you by MaddenTips.com. Let's see what we have here. A nice throw to Manningham, nice little gadget play to pick up 3 yards. Manningham motioned out, settled in behind all the routes, cleared out some zones, and picked up a nice gain there for the first down. Back out, single back tight doubles, Mario Manningham. Run could potentially be flipped. Different play call. Let's see. A lot of action. All these players, both these guys here, just doing ridiculous amounts of setups before the snap. Gibbs going to take a timeout there. Looks like he didn't have his defense set up how he wanted it.
So can't play. So yeah, I see. I know what's. I just see that. I saw that. Okay, I understand. Yeah.
So both players figuring out things as the game goes on.
I understand what just happened there. I respect that.
I'm just thinking about my burrito. I can't really think about football. Frank Gore to the edge, picks up 10 yards and a good run. Gore having a solid day so far. Let's see the predictions on Facebook.com/MaddenTips. If anybody was close.
I like that. I like what you just did there.
Gibbs.
Okay, we'll do a virtual knuckles. Virtual knuckles. Knuckles and tails. If there's anyone in the chat that doesn't know what he does, if you know what I saw there, if you can say it in the chat, here's the thing: you can't be a guy that knows what he does. But if you saw what I saw, we'll give you a free winner's kit.
We will.
Mm-hmm.
All right, back out here, run right, Frank Gore. Bottled up in the middle of the field, so that's one thing that you'll see on 360. 360, you might be able to run over those tackles or get around that. Frank Gore there had to cut and ultimately got messy in the middle of the field. So we shall see. That's the difference, basically. 7-6, minute 40 left in the second quarter before halftime. Back in that shotgun bunch from earlier in the game, motions Frank Gore out to the right side of the field, hits the quick pass over the middle to Carrier, picks up some yardage. We got 3rd and 4 at midfield here. Let's see. First down gives him into field goal range. Back in the shotgun bunch. Quick snap. Back over the middle of the field for a short gain.
Like this that just keeps getting first downs. Not only are they moving in scoring position, but they're giving
all right, 2 guys letting the fingers do the talking. And audibles. Gibbs making some adjustments. Run to the right with Frank Gore. Cuts up the middle. Picks up 10 yards.
Boy, after watching that long run, I'm with you. That was a nice job by the running back. Good job up front, sustaining the blocks. Offense has got to be happy with that.
Single back tight doubles, play action, sack lunch. T. Davis had him down down the seam, not sure. 2nd and 13 here on the Xbox One Next Gen. Game of the week, Twim 105. Shotgun bunch, Manningham on the motion. Crabtree Z-spot route over the middle of the field, down to the 1 yard line. Nice route there by T. Davis. I believe that was a similar route to the Z-spot route. 1 yard line, Colin Kaepernick goes up.
That's what I wanted! I wanted that!
Up and over. So T. Davis scores from 1 yard out. Gibbs was unable to score from the 1 yard line. Big difference in the game so far. And a great job by T. Davis. He's doing the ZFarlsn. He scores with less than 10 seconds left in
You say it's
the
only
half.
7 seconds.
I try and do 7. He can only get to 9. Sorry. I guess he's just not that good. I don't know. It's 2 seconds up. But I do recommend. You notice T. Davis still has 3 timeouts left. Did you see him panic? I mean,
I
he
had,
doesn't.
I had to use my timeouts.
No, that's fine. That's
With
fine.
what he was doing.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm
No question. I was like, what is
no.
happening? What just happened to my guy?
I'm not saying you shouldn't have not used yours, but I'm just saying he doesn't look like he gets nervous. But there was 30 seconds. He didn't use any timeouts. Did he look like he was panicking? No, he knows. He knows. I'm gonna hit this route now. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have these timeouts. I'm gonna have this clock situation here. This is what I'm doing. This is what's happening. Score with less than 10 seconds. You only really have one option. Gibbs takes it over the middle of the field with Hawkins. And we take it to the half with T. Davis with a 14-6 lead, but SGibs ball needs a touchdown here on this opening drive. Field goal won't cut it unless it's 61 yards, and you hit a lot of them. Just ask the Ravens. Too soon. All right, here we go. Caleb back to the 18-yard line. Gibbs, let's see that drive. Let's see what we got. Going with the gun, 5 wide receiver trio.
Trio.
Josh Johnson in the game. Underneath that, Andrew Hawkins. Great pass lead there by SGibs. If he had thrown that upfield, Willis was lurking around. Had to maybe lost a couple yards by not throwing the pass lead, but it's the only way that pass can be completed. Pressure coming. Green hit, but that's why you throw it to one of the best players in the game. His second catch of the day over the middle, and moves the chains for the first down. When you need a first down, who do you call? Arthur Johnson Green. That's not his name. SGibs needs to learn to do better. That's the third time you've seen it. You can blame it on the control, you can blame it on the game, but you gotta ultimately blame it on yourself, unfortunately. He tried to playmaker there up the middle. I liked it. Definitely wasn't open, though. Glad he didn't throw the ball. A quick throw there to Eifert. Gets the feed in. A huge blitz was coming there from T. Davis. A lot of rushers, so Gibbs was smart to get the ball out fast. And let's see what the chat's saying so far. Zan says it's Adrell Jeremiah Green. Okay, I did not know that, but I know that now. Stephen the Beast confirms. Jet sweep for a decent game there. I know everybody's colleges. I don't know their surnames, nicknames.
The surnames?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, 2nd and 5. PA jet sweep. Gibbs figures out how to throw the ball away after a rollout.
Figured it out finally.
He's 0 for 4 on the PA jet sweep so far in this game. Maybe he's got something we don't know about. Maybe he's waiting for it to get there. Who knows? 3rd and 5, big play. Pressure comes in. Middle was open, but ultimately that's why you send a blitz. Gibbs is putting the game on the line here with 2:54 left. 4th and 5. Very manageable situation, but let's see what the play call is. Biggest play of the game so far, 4th and 5. And a great play by SGibs to get it to Marvin Jones over the middle of the field on a playmaker. For guys that don't know, playmaker, L trigger and right stick up, puts your guy on a new route, and defender didn't hang with him. Gibbs with the play of the game to keep him in it so far, 4th and 5.
This will be the 8th play of this drive.
Jet sweep. Hawkins picks up 7 yards. Big gain right there off the edge. It's working for him. Good cut there by Gibbs, especially on
About to snap it for the 9th play of the drive.
and that's a bad cut on next gen. So we saw a good cut on next gen and a bad cut on next gen. Gibbs got a little gun shy there. Didn't think he had the edge.
After play here on this drive. Snap back to the quarterback out of the gun. It's away from pressure. Drag to
3rd and 3 gets it all the way down to 4th and 1.
Let's go now to Dan.
Tried to go over the middle, then he tried to run. That's how RG3 got injured last season. Had to make that play against the Falcons. Took the concussion. Josh Johnson there just put himself in harm's way to try and extend this drive and make it a real game situation. Now 4th and 1, the new biggest play of the game coming up right here. Gibbs goes gun, bunch left. Pressure comes in, and the bench bonus from the winner's kit for the second year in a row gets a touchdown. Now Gibbs will need a 2-point conversion to tie this football game. T. Davis sent pressure, and it did get in. However, Gibbs with a nice counter to it over the middle of the field for a nice gain. There's so much going on with the setups and the adjustments that it's mind-boggling.
They're going to bypass the point after and try to pick up the 2-point.
And Josh Johnson is...
He's looking to the right.
You did a phenomenal job of clicking on that guy and not moving him. You just sat there with him, right? You can play.
Oh man.
Josh Johnson, instead of going for the end zone, goes for the throw. It's caught, but ball is just outside the 1-yard line.
Crazy.
And he runs away from the end zone. No score, 14-12. T. Davis still with the lead. Niners up over the Bengals at this point still. But a good drive, a huge drive there from SGibs. 2 huge 4th down conversions and making it a closer game here. Let's see what he can do on the defensive side of the football.
And Davis is on the right side, split out wide.
Gibbs almost going off sides there with the adjustment. Manningham, motion right, play action. Carrier across the middle of the field, takes a huge hit. Injured by Reggie Nelson on the play.
Always hard to guess what the injury is, but I don't like to speculate. I think it's pretty apparent. It's an upper body injury. We'll let you know when we find out. 2nd down and 1.
Run left. Gore is met by Burfict on the edge, but he stumbles forward for a nice 1st down call.
First down there, they're behind. They just can't sit back there and keep bending. You got to take some chances. Go on the offensive, on the defensive side, and just make things happen. New set of downs now after picking up the first on the ground. Back to the ground.
The jet sweep to Manningham. Scoots in for a 5-yard gain to make it a 2nd and 5.
One of the things you're looking for is for your tackle to make a good block, and then if you have a lead fullback, you need to test him and block the linebacker to free up the halfback so he can go in between them and get in the secondary and make a big play.
In the draw, the first call of the draw play for T. Davis on the day. Gives it to Gore, gets up the middle for about 7-8-yard gain. A good call in that situation. You haven't seen the quarterback drop back in that sense, only on pass plays so far. And then to ultimately hand it off was a nice adjustment.
You can pick up a few extra yards.
We are going to tick-tock this one down. The end of the 3rd quarter is here. We are taking it into the 4th quarter with T. Davis up by 2, 14-12. And this is a serious game. Just some good Madden going on. When you play tight games, guys, this is why I can't recommend playing Madden Ultimate Team enough. Tight games, you got to score. You got to manage the clock. You got to do big things. Hand off to Gore, a nice cut left, and Frank Gore houses it. A great cut by T. Davis on next gen running using the left stick. Only has to take 1 gather step. Nice play. And that's going to make it 9 points. So Gibbs going to need a quick score here. Not too quick, but definitely still a quick score. That's the question. Do you just kick a 1-point extra point there? Then you'd only be down 8, and then you just score again. But ultimately, if you're in there, you got to go for the tie when you have the chance. All right, Gibbs going back to that empty set. And goes with the out, throws it quick, but Jones drops the pass.
If you get your hands on the football, you got to make the catch. Yeah, right. The guy that made that rule up wasn't getting hit as he was trying to catch the football. Nice hit that time by the defender.
After the incomplete pass, it brings up second down.
Nice route to Gresham across the middle of the field. Picks it up. I believe that's the first that type of route to Gresham on the day. Stretching it in the seams a little bit there for SGibs.
Tight end position to the slot.
Gibbs with the sweep. Tries to cut with Hawkins. Gets bottled up. If you're seeing this on Next Gen, that push from the line, I believe is... Ooh, nice call by T. Davis there to try and get the buzz zone out there. Doesn't get there in time. Quick throw by Gibbs, but still, the mindset was definitely there. And that's all you can say is, what do I think he's going to do? Got to get somebody there. If they don't make it, whatever. But you still got to play the game.
First and 10, looks to his left.
Deep pass to Jones. Just a little bit too early for no completion. That's Josh Johnson. You live by Josh Johnson, you can die by Josh Johnson. And
Gresham's shifted from tight
we got a second down. Still in this one.
Johnson's going to take it from the gun. Escaping the pressure. Ball is out.
Johnson fumbles. Gibbs was smart to go out of bounds there. Still picked up 4. Nice play.
Takes lined up in the slot.
For those asking about Madden PC, we are currently not playing on PC. We are playing on Xbox One.
Looking to scramble. Throws.
Oh, tough play. The playmaker would have been open for a huge gain, but the ball is tipped. We've seen T. Davis suffer from 2 tip passes. Gibbs gets his own tip pass there. And a 4th and 6. This is your game, folks. The new biggest 4th down on the day.
Johnson standing back in the shot.
And that Gresham route's just been there for Gibbs. Just it's been there. Usually to Eifert. Looks like Gresham caught that one. And a nice play.
The Bengals with an empty backfield. Look here. The throw to the
And hits it to Gio across the middle of the field. So that was Gresham earlier. So Gibbs must have been suffering from an injury. And
If they do that, look, they're still going to be behind, but
at least got to get a field goal or a touchdown at this point in the game.
Gresham's in the slot here for this play. First and 10. Going to take off with it.
Johnson's going to get out of bounds.
Marching down the field and taking their time. Johnson's going to take the snap from the shotgun. Looking
So a good route there. T. Davis covered it, but it was a weird breaking route. I didn't even really it was like a reverse C route or something. It had some weird jambalaya to it. So he was unable to make the play.
My question to you, T. Davis, is how long were you waiting for me to run that play? I ran the other play.
So SGibs chooses not to go for 2 there. Interesting decision. We'll see if it pays off.
hands on the football again, but their lead is not the same. Things are getting tight here. The score.
Gibbs is thinking, does he onside kick? Is what he's thinking right now. He's got 3 timeouts. Does he kick short? Does he try to get a hit stick? Does he kick deep? I mean, that's really up to him.
Come on, Ted Nugent.
Gets a hit from Dunlap, but it's not enough. All right, here we go. Gibbs needs to get the ball back. Down by 2. I do not believe Madden is available on PC.
And Manningham's in the slot. Now first and 10. Gore's handed the football.
Sort of a hit stick, not quite. And a 2nd and 7, 3-yard gain from Frank Gore. We are 2 minutes from
Second down after going to the ground game the first play.
gun bunch. Throw over the middle to Manningham. Goes down. 3rd and 1. Timeout SGibs. Nice route there. We saw that convert a 3rd and 5 earlier, but it's tough because you got to watch that wheel and then you got to come back and get that route, which is a late breaking route over the middle of the defense that is cleared out by other zones. 3rd and 1 looks like it's going to be A flip, single back tight doubles formation. Now to gun bunch to the open side of the field. Like to go to the open side of the field with a lot to run. Covered, completed for a nice pass over the middle to Carrier. He's been a reliable option. I'll be interested to talk with T. Davis after the game, see about Carrier, what he likes, what he doesn't like. I like that he uses them. Single back jumbo, I believe, here. 2 tight ends left. Gonna motion 1. Miller comes across the fullback. And Gore falls in behind his blockers for a 2nd and 9. Another single back jumbo. Miller. Motion right. Motion left, or resets back left. Motion right. Toss out to Gore. Stumbles in up to the 40. 3rd and 4 coming up. Big play. Gibbs needs this one stop here, hopefully to get a ball back and a last chance to get a field goal. All right, gun bunch right. We've seen the Manningham. We've seen the Gore. We've seen sack. Fumble! Woo! Fumble, Ruski. James Harrison jumps on the ball. And now S. Gibbs is in position. He's already in field goal range. However, he's got Giovanni Bernard in the game. And we'll see what the Niners can do. T. Davis with all 3 timeouts, so Gibbs either would need a first down, 2nd and 9. Let's see.
After that defensive timeout, we're ready for action.
So Gibbs can either get a first down to potentially give himself lower timeout, or just run the ball, get the assured 3 points, and have to lock up on defense to prevent a field goal for T. Davis, who would get the ball back with about 50 seconds left. Decisions, and no timeouts. So decisions. Law firm carries, stumbles forward, 3rd and 6. T. Davis, 57 seconds left. What will Gibbs do? I know what I want to see Gibbs do. He knows what I want to see him do. I think he thinks he wants me to do one thing. I want him to really do something else.
Right?
3rd and 6, toss left. Ellis! Can't get through the whole timeout. T. Davis, a great job. So now Gibbs, take your time. Make sure you make this. Make sure you make this.
It is on all that. It's the hardest thing to make a field goal.
And boots it through. T. Davis was in position to win in Las Vegas and missed a field goal, unfortunately.
We don't need to talk about
we won't talk about it. 49 seconds left. T. Davis with no timeouts. Down by 1, needs a drive or a return or anything. 24-yard line. Time to go to work. Gun bunch left. And route is not completed. Covered route, but at least the incompletion keeps the clock going. Let's see. 42 seconds left. T. Davis down 1. His 49ers, Gibbs, Bengals on defense. Kaepernick fumbles, takes a hit stick from Burfict. And now we have a 3rd and 8. Gun bunch left. Motions out James. Incomplete pass. Huge play there to get the ball out, to not take a sack and more time off the clock. Now 19 seconds left and a 4th and 8. Needs 8 yards to continue this game. Gun bunch left. Overthrown. And that will be the ball game. SGibs will take the victory formation with the knee. And I'll be excited to interview these gentlemen after the game. What a great game. Thanks to T. Davis coming on this week in Madden, show 105. Heck of a ball game. I was so intense. I don't even know what was happening, but it was so intense.
That was a good game of Madden. That was a fun game of Madden.
Good game.
When you play Madden, so if you guys are watching this show, the reason that you play this game is to get to that level that just happened, where so much was happening on every play and so much countering was going to each counter. Like the Manningham route, where you'd motion him and then he'd sit for the short first down. Like that motion with all the stuff on that other play, that was just like... sometimes you motion Gore out behind the gun bunch, but then sometimes you'd motion the third guy in the gun bunch in. You never knew what was coming, but you guys both knew that, depending on the situation, everything that was going on.
Yeah.
That was such a high-level battle.
You did a good job with the thing that you did. I know that's your thing, so I'm not gonna say what it was, but I saw something happening with some of the receivers.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh.
So, yeah.
And I don't know if that's what happened with the first touchdown run, and maybe that's what it was, or it just got good blocking with you just like lanes and you were gone. But I had to adjust out of that, and that was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And the way I adjusted to that was every time you did your thing, I reset my play, so then it just took me out. I couldn't blitz.
Yeah.
I couldn't set up any type of blitz because of how you were playing, so that changed my whole game plan. I was like, well, there goes the blitz.
The purpose of it.
Right. So like I had to play just like some people were in the chat. Some guy named NBD Assassin in the chat was grilling me saying I didn't have any blitzes in that game. It's because I couldn't blitz because I was forced to change what I was doing based on what you were doing. I recognize that. I'm lucky I recognized that early. Like I recognized that in like the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a fun game of Madden. And that goal line stop that you had was...
Yeah.
So I used the 3-4 solid for that too. And but that was nice. That was a nice stand.
Let me run through some highlights here. So T. Davis, 4th and 15, first drive. Do you ever think about punting, or are you thinking, I got to go here?
I think about it, but, I mean, I feel like, I don't know. Honestly, it's a tough call, but...
Early in the game, it's a good spot, yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to give up a possession no matter what, so...
Right, so one thing, when you're playing high level, you got low clock, and you're going to play for possessions. Possession's everything. You know, if you get if you're not getting
down
at
a
the
possession,
half,
it's tough to come back.
Right.
Possession.
So going for it, I respect that, and Gibbs gets the stop there. As we keep digging through here, huge stop to only hold it to 3 right after. Your next play, next drive, you get a huge pancake block. Tell me about 46 and why you play him.
Okay, carrier, because this is what the two reasons that I feel like I lost this game mainly was because the 49ers receivers are so slow. Mm-hmm. So the reason I put carrier tight end is so I can have Vernon Davis at receiver, which is 2 of the fastest players on the team, and that helps me with my routes and stuff. Because if I use Bolden, he's way too slow. Even Crabtree's a little too slow. So it just helps with the speed of the offense.
I like that.
All right, so then Gibbs comes back, gets this big conversion to
that route to Eifert
was
a
big
route for me all game.
And
go to that route, check it out.
Check out the Eifert route, but this was the play of this drive right here. So T. Davis goes to get to the edge. Lemonier makes the dive tackle.
JJ for the bread.
And doesn't get in, but gets down to the 1. So you figure, all right, he's going to score at the end of the quarter. But like we said, T. Davis with great defense on
goal line stand.
The goal line stand. Gibbs quickly goes here on the hurry up. Tries to get it, tries to run again. Good defense there, 7-6. Then we are back here. T. Davis scores on a rush by Kaepernick. Let's take a look at this Crabtree route.
I sent the blitz there, and you can rewind that. Ah,
So you got a Z-spot style route, I think is what I
No, it is. It's Z-spot.
So
it's a tough route.
route.
So go rewind. So the pressure looked like it was going to come in right here. So look at my guys coming off the edge, and then the tackle slide.
Yeah.
So I almost had that set up there.
In 7.
I was worried about Davis. Cause I was worried about that bunch side.
Yeah.
That's what
the motion in route out route does a lot. So people worry about that. Bunch
that's
side.
what's so good about Z spot is that you always have to worry about the bunch, and then it's tough over there.
Yeah.
3-4 solid does a great job at jamming that middle, and then you were able to get up and over for the touchdown. That was nice.
All right, and then Gibbs takes it to the half. So with 7 seconds left, of course, great work by T. Davis there. Third quarter, Gibbs gets ball down 14-6. Opening drive needs it badly.
Eifert.
4th and 5, hits this to Marvin Jones. Rolls, uses L trigger and right stick.
I was
to
right. I was
playmaker.
close.
You're coming.
Yep, I know.
But you know what? You got you had karma later in the game where you got I did the same thing, and then your guy put his hand up and tipped it.
Yeah.
And then
So
he
vengeance.
gets back on a 4th and 1, converts to Hawkins. So 4th and 1, quick throw.
Let me talk about this here. So this play, I had a read from just your defense. Like anytime your DBs were back, I was anticipating like a 2-man under or like some type of man. Like maybe it was cover 1. I know you had some spies, some zones.
Yeah.
And anytime I saw the DBs up, I was like, oh, he's blitzing cover 2. So that's why.
Yeah.
I felt like the route over the first route over the middle was the slant was gonna take your attention, and I felt like it did. I could snap throw that in there at least for a yard. I got lucky to get in for a score.
You
but
missed on the Gresham. Would you have, if you could do this play again?
Go. I can't see it.
No, you had X coming across, I believe it was, that had separation. That's what I thought you were gonna try to hit. See,
yeah, I wanted to, but he bailed out. He bailed. He hit the back of the end zone.
Davis clicks on right here. Great job.
You
tries to take away the.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah.
No, because like you clicked onto him and like stop.
No, I didn't, because I clicked on it, but I was like, what do I do? I was.
And whatever it was, it worked because I was like, I can't go to the end zone there.
Do you go for the gold right here if you have this play again?
Yeah. Looking at it, I felt like
when he clicked on, I think he spooked you, but then he got strafed and it cost him
if
that half second.
If I get a throw, like I know you can't. That's a tough throw to make, but if I get like a hard bullet, that's a touchdown. But like. Lesson learned, I guess. Like next gen Madden, like good luck doing that. Like on current gen, that's a touchdown. I think.
Right.
Current gen, I scramble throw that touchdown. But
So,
next gen, no.
Now you're down 14-12. T. Davis does a good job working the clock, working the run game. He houses it with Gore.
2 big long runs, man. But I deserved it here. I showed a quarters look.
76.
I showed a quarters look, and I just got toasted.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing that's good about the Niners. Their run block is just.
Yeah, Niners and Seahawks get crazy run blocking.
It's something that I noticed when I use the Seahawks. I get 3 yards of push, and like I saw when the Niners were getting 3 yards of push against the Bengals line. Like it's such a big thing that you need a good line in this game.
Yeah.
Gibbs gets ball. Now he's down 9, down 2 scores.
Give me something there. What is that?
4th and 6. Pops it to Gresham. So Gresham's now in for where Eifert was. Something happened.
Yeah, this route was killing me.
Tough route. Yeah. Here's why that route it works well, because if you go back and rewind more. So the auto motion usually slides a guy in and gets the momentum, like their hips going in.
Yeah.
Usually, like especially if you have a zone out there, and you drop the zone from the D line. That's why I didn't get out there.
Yeah.
But that route's pretty good.
Yeah.
The corner route's pretty good.
And then you get it to A.J. Green for the touchdown. You needed this touchdown to get back within a score.
So there's 2 plays with the auto motion. You got the mesh, and then I was saving this play for this situation. And
he's on it.
He went to it. He did go
late.
down.
I was like too late. I
was surprised that you jumped it, but I felt like I still had the angle because I saw your back there, so I felt like I could still get in there. But can you go to a play there? He was in a cover 2, and I just lobbed it.
Yep.
You were in the cover 2, and I just lobbed it. And
wide open.
No replay, but right here, you tried to bomb it down deep the sideline to Marvin Jones. It was open, but
I saw the DBs up again. I saw him up, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, he knows his cover 2.
And that's why I just snapped, go, and I was in 4 verticals.
Yep.
That play was big for me. It was 4 verticals, left slots on that little shake route. Hawkins is pretty good on that, so that route was pretty big for me.
All right, here we go. It is 3rd and 1. Gibbs is running out of timeouts, needs a route, and T. Davis goes to carrier, picks it up, short-handed, hangs on to it with Maliuga.
You see that coverage on that play though? Was everyone else covered, or was there anyone else?
Yeah, there really was no one open, and I feel like that he wouldn't have. He was behind him, so he wouldn't have really reacted.
Right.
I mean, I don't. Yeah.
The
Question
corner
for
route,
T.
potentially, but-
Question for T. Davis. He is one of the most patient players in the pocket, and he stands right up by the center, just kind of almost waiting to run. But he doesn't. He just hangs out. Is that something you learn? Is that just? Do you like to
Trust
run?
him.
Is that where you like to stand?
I just
Is
trust
that,
my reads. I mean,
you know you're gonna eventually something's gonna get open.
yeah, I feel like all my plays something will get open, so I don't really try to
Worry
run.
about it.
Yeah.
All right, and then you rush with Frank Gore. You get a yard. You get another yard. 3rd and 4, minute 10 left. Clock's ticking. Go for the pass.
This is the biggest play of the game.
Go for the win. You motion Manningham rather than Gore. Are you thinking? Is this the play where he sits?
Yeah, well, I have two different plays. This is the Z spot play. With the Z spot, I motion over B on the out route, and he usually can beat man. It's metaverse zone.
I shaded him in. So I shaded him in, and so what I did is I was like, I'm not gonna get beat short, so I played 2 men under. I shaded the in, and then I placed both safeties into flats to take away anything quick, and then I was gonna just bail out on the Z spot. I wanted to try and undercut it. That's why I waited for it, because I want to try and undercut it, and I was fortunate to get a fumble.
Two things about this play. I mean, the corner route, if I would have lobbed the corner route, maybe it would have been open, but there's nothing else open, and the 49ers offensive pass blocking is so bad, so, I mean, that's why he got
I think if you lob this
two-man
upfield
rush.
right now, you maybe get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you rewind more for me?
It's
Rewind all the way
doubled.
back. Rewind, and then I want to see the rush here. Snap.
Get a double team.
Yeah. So
and then he just breaks
Rips
it
in.
through. Yeah. So that's the only downfall I feel with the Niners: their speed on offense and their pass blocking. Those are like the two things that I'm not sure if I should use them. Seahawks.
Third down.
I like the Bengals.
Third down.
Yeah, the Bengals are really good.
I really wanted you to go for it, the pass.
Was
put the game
honestly,
away.
No, honestly, I was not going to give him one timeout. He would have beat me with one timeout.
Okay.
Fact.
So you get the field goal. You run it 3 times. You make him milk us 3 timeouts.
I wasn't going to lose. I wasn't going to lose by giving him a timeout. I was going to go down, say, you can't get in the field goal range. With the routes that he was using, I felt confident enough using 2 men under just to take them away.
So 4th and 8. T. Davis needs to get downfield here about 20.
No
I
joke.
saw the slant, and then you could. No, I
Yeah.
actually could hit the wheel route, but like it kind of gets him a step.
I'm telling you, 2 men under is not easy to beat. It's
The vertical route usually destroys man. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. I don't know. But yeah, man defense.
if you
really,
shade them, the shade, with working the shades on the routes, like it can help because you just want the guy underneath them. Like on that play right there, where the incomplete, like he got underneath him. So like, I think you tried to click on, but you couldn't get there.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Right. Same
Because
thing
he's underneath them,
with the
so
same
it's
thing
like-
with the first down play. Your guy covered it, but he never turned around. He was just kind of like in his way.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah. So, heck of a game, man.
Yeah, good game.
Great
man.
game.
Coming in.
No
Great
doubt.
game. Thanks
No
for
doubt.
coming in.
Yeah,
dude.
no doubt.
It's not so. As you know, Boston guys. Hopefully RG was watching. He's down at EA. I know he loves some big game Madden. T. Davis did good announcing at Best Buy, and we just like to play Madden. That's pretty much why we're here.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff.
Appreciate everyone in the chat. If you like the game against T. Davis, type a 1 in the chat. You're still in here if you like that competition. That was some top-notch Madden gaming right there.
Same thing. We'll be back next Wednesday. Click the follow button in the bottom left-hand corner underneath the video player. That'll let you know when we go live, whether you're on Madden Tips or Prima Games. Daryl,
Just so everyone know, I'm at 8 million cookies.
Cookie Clicker?
I'm at 8 million cookies right now, by the way, because I'm producing 2,300 a second.
That was serious. That was serious, Madden. Wait, if you play like that all the time, you either have a heart attack and die, or you just get so good.
You get good.
Yeah, you get much
Even if you
better.
lose, you just get good.
Right.
Like,
Right.
there's no online rank game. You go into that. And
I can't wait
That
to-
does not happen in online ranks.
You know what?
It just doesn't show up.
I can't wait to just cut Twim off so I can talk more about what he was doing. I literally almost panicked. I was like panicking. We always say all the time on Twim. We always talk about like, okay, in the middle of a game, don't panic. With what he was doing, I was panicking. I was like, oh my god, I can't do everything I want to do. So I can't wait to talk about that. You guys, unfortunately, aren't going to be able to listen to that. Maybe we'll talk about it someday.
All right, this will be on YouTube tomorrow. Go check it out, the archive. Watch all the adjustments, everything like that. And we will be back next Wednesday. Christmas. But we'll have a show for you, and New Year's we'll have a show for you. So tune back in. We'll be on MaddenTips.com, guys. All right. Shout out to T. Davis for coming in. Great game of Madden. Thanks to everybody for watching in the chat and hanging out and talking Madden. Good stuff. We will see you
Lock up.
next week. Lock up.